Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Security has taken center stage just in about every corner of the country. There's hardly anywhere that's, free in terms of the whole issue of insecurity and fear in the land. I mean, here we are talking about that, and they actually announced yesterday that there was what was the way they put it? But there was an attempt, an ill-fated attempt, or a stupid attempt, a foolish attempt to actually burgle the house of the chief of staff to the president. I mean, that shows you how bad it could be getting, although I just can't figure that out for now. But meanwhile, our focus is going to be a bit on Benue State, Governor Otom's Benue State, and we have standing by Mr. Terence Kwanum. Terence is Global Amnesty is a Global Amnesty Watch researcher, and we're delighted to have you again. It's been quite a while, but good morning, Terence. Thank you very much. Now, I just wanted to get some sort of a survey. As I was saying there, a lot of people are experiencing, security challenges. Give me your assessment of the situation in terms of security and the challenges it brings on in Benue State.
Well, the security challenge in Benue is no longer new to anybody. For the last 3 years, to the invasion of Benue, it has been on and off, and our people have been in the IDP camp.
Yes.
We have always called on authorities that on the attention on what they are supposed to do in Benue to bring peace to the people of Benue. We have always reached to our neighbors to be able to collaborate with them, share intel, and see how we can be able to protect our people. But in as much as we are doing this effort, you'll know that the attacks keep coming out on us because our aggressors have been known. They have made their intentions very clearly known to everybody that they want to occupy the land that we are sitting on. And the federal government has sent the operation wide stroke that the state government gave them good cooperation. But the challenges that we have is that the ancestral homes that our people have been chased away have been occupied by the Fulani herders that chased us away. And they have grown so audacious that they are moving from those our ancestral homes to even come and attack us at the IDP camp now, which is quite worrisome, quite challenging, and quite amazing that people that have been chased from their ancestral homes to be in IDP camp are still being attacked.
Exactly.
By this.
That's very.
And so it has that the governor has called out for the president to rise up. But the challenge we always have is that when you offer an honest advice to be able to put out the threat, you become an enemy to the president. And now instead of bringing solutions to challenges of insecurity, you now become an enemy to the president. Now, one quite amazing instance that took place in Benue, that we all thought that this thing would actually be solved, was that there was an instance where the military personnel were attacked. They lost their lives and the military changed. The military that have been with us for 3 years and is finding it difficult to drive our enemies out of our ancestral homes for us to go back, was able to within 7 days do an operation to recover their rights. The military was able to activate intel for them to be able to locate a rifle that was 200 kilometers away from the scene of the crime. Now, when you look at that kind of capacity, made to be able to secure the life of the back to the president, informing him of the situations that are happening within Benue State. We are waiting on the president to see his response, because we know the people that are attacking us. they have taken responsibility several times on why they are killing the people of
Well, for the moment, it looks as if we are having challenges with the line that we have Terence on, but I'm sort of waiting to see if it'll get back on again. But Terence, just in case you're hearing me, Governor Tom, he's not been too happy, especially with the federal authorities. He feels that they've reached out for help, and they're not getting as much as he would like. I almost said I'm not getting any, but I suppose it's better to put it as not getting as much as he would like. Explain that bit, please. Because as you know, Governor Tom has been, almost in frustration.
For every security challenge that we've had in Benue, the governor and the stakeholders have reached the president. The governor and the stakeholders have communicated to the head of the security agent.
Well, we still are experiencing this challenge, but there you go. You've seen pictures there, and the story there. As soon as we can get Terence back on, it's all about an agreement has now been made in Benue to, get everybody. That is, the whole community has agreed that we're going to have to strategize to defend ourselves. That is what we're going to do. I think there was talk about bringing in retired soldiers, ex-servicemen, and able-bodied youths to sort of protect themselves. Okay, you're back, Terence. I just had to go because the line failed a bit there. I was seeing Governor Autumn and a group of people. Were those stakeholders? Because the news is that it has been decided now that you're going to have to get forces together to have a sort of a security watch. I don't know if it's a vigilante or a security watch made up principally of ex-servicemen and able-bodied youths.
Yeah, when the challenge of the security formations within our state started failing, we had to resort to the law that was passed in Benue in 2000, the Benue Vigilante law, so that we make them more robust and proactive to be able to protect the community. Because we had a situation in Benue where an attack was taking place not far from the base of the military, but they refused to intervene because they had not taken order from above. This too, we have also asked the president to that. You have come out yourself to tell Nigerians that we are in the worst situation. Your Minister of Defense has also confirmed that we are in the worst situation. And when countries are in war situations, what we needed to have done was to call on the Council of State so that the commanding strength of the Commander-in-Chief will be deployed to governors, so that governors should be the commander of the security commissions within that state, having known the peculiarities of the terrain that they are governing, so that they will be able to direct command to these agencies at the right time, at the right place, to be able to protect these issues of this security. But since that advice is not taken, we've resorted to activating the Benue Vigilante network so that they will be able to contribute to intel to the conventional security so that some attacks will be contained.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what, Terence, I think it's best to... I wanted to call for the report that we put out earlier that sort of summarizes all of this by way of background for those who might not be knowing how serious it is in Benue. And after we both see that report, we can come back and continue this conversation.
Seeking solution that will bring relative peace to parts of the state has been the primary focus of Benue State government in recent times. The state stakeholders security meeting acknowledges that in the face of banditry, kidnapping, herdsmen attack and other crimes, the security agencies have done well. But it feels that renewed attacks on the people by armed herdsmen have overstretched the security agencies in the state. The state government is now prepared to fully enforce the law, providing for the establishment of community volunteer guards, which was enacted in the year 2000.
It was enacted in the year 2000. So we have looked at the provisions, and there are windows there that we can exploit to help us reduce the level of attack on us here in Benue State. And so this stakeholders meeting have decided to adopt the volunteer community guards.
The recruitment of the Vigilante will be carried out in the 23 local government area. The state governor emphasized the need for all key players to join hands in tackling insecurity in the state, devoid of political, religious or ethnic sentiments.
The chairman of the council will be the chairman of the volunteer guard. The DPO of every local government will be a member. The DSS representative will be a member. The second class chief will be a member. The third class chief will be a member. And all the 4th class chiefs in each local government will be members.
Stakeholders at the meeting also passed a vote of confidence in Governor Samuel Otom for his untiring efforts to ensure the security of lives and property. They recognize that the governor has demonstrated true leadership qualities and has risked his life in the interest of the people.
Your Excellency, we want to thank you and want to tell you that we are behind you. We will continue being behind you, and if we do anything outside what you are doing now, very many of us will not be happy with you, because we were the ones that asked you to sign the bill. So the bill is for us, and we are happy about it. We want to tell you that you are doing very well, and we have passed vote of confidence on you today.
The motion for the vote of confidence on the governor was moved by the leader of the 3 main socio-cultural organizations in Benue State. Mayowa Okwato, TVC News, Makurdi.
Okay, so that sort of gives us a bird's eye view of the situation and the efforts that, you know, have been decided upon. Now, this vigilante force or protective force, they will actually be able under the law to bear arms. Am I correct? It does look as if oh, okay. We saw the picture now. We saw the report, and I was saying that one of the big differences is that under the law, this force is a paramilitary sort of a force, isn't it? It will actually be allowed to bear. It will be authorized to bear arms under the law. We have this slight challenge. We're not able, but the picture says it all. And I don't know. We're having a problem being able to speak with our man, Terence Quanum, Global Amnesty Watch researcher in Benue State. But we did see the report there, and the efforts that are being put up. And you saw the vote of confidence passed on Governor Otom there. Governor Otom has been in something of a running battle, should I say, with the federal authorities, because he has sort of accused them of not coming to their aid, abandoning them to their own devices. And in the meantime, Reverend Dominic has come on. Good morning, Reverend.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, Yori, we have a bad situation in our hands. But I think, in my own personal opinion, I may be wrong or right, we are setting ourselves up You're resetting a vigilante in every state. The danger of it is enormous. Let's use our police as such. Most of the times we see bad legs in police, using police arms to cause havoc, most of the times. And these are trained police, licensed police, numbered police in quotes. You remember we have this vigilante of characters we do not know and give them guns. Remember it's these guns that our politicians arm their own soldiers that at times hunt us back. We're setting ourselves up. This nation must come together to find a security outfit that will fight a common front, that will be registered and known. This is a danger, this is a kegger of gunpowder about to explode. And most of the times, I want to use this opportunity, if you can give it to me, to talk to some of our pastors. I'm part of this constitution, pastors. We have congregations we talk to. One of the pastors makes a statement I hate yesterday. If it is a nation that is disciplined, that person will not sleep in his house. I said that, Reverend Dominic. Why can you go to a congregation and tell them to run away? One fought on that issue that he said they should run to Cameroon. Do you know that Cameroon have been fighting war for over 7 years? Is Cameroon safer than Nigeria? We must be careful what we say now, what we do.
You're speaking about Pastor Adef Harrison, who said every Nigerian should have a plan B, and the plan B would be to
run away from Cameroon, from Togo to
run away from Nigeria if the bottom falls out.
How could you say such a thing, Biyode? Yes, things is bad. It's a defeating statement. It's a defeating statement. Now we have to put ourselves together and see how we can make Nigeria work. No matter what you think, east, west, or north, home is still better. Nigeria is still a nation. We can make it work.
But Dominic, part of the problem here, as you know, is that we don't have anywhere near enough policemen for our needs. And so people are thinking that we've got to do something for ourselves within the law, but we can't just continue to fold our arms, hoping that somehow the police will stretch themselves to a breaking point for us, which is not likely to happen. That's the big challenge here.
The challenge you're saying, we have government who can also put, instead of this vigilante, let's go for state policing. Instead of this vigilante, let's go to state policing, which is well organized. You know what I mean? When you give guns to this vigilante, there are also a bad leg among them. That's who turns this gun against us. It is unconventional. Every solution brings a problem. That's true in a governmental system or in an administrative system. Every solution brings its own problem. But you can have a problem to manage. Vigilantes everywhere is unmanageable.
Yes.
That is good.
But the big problem, Reverend Dominic, the big problem is that you can't hold a conversation with an AK-47. And if marauders come and swarm you and they're all bearing AK-47s, the president has said, shoot them at sight. I don't know what weapons you're going to use to shoot them, but the president has shown maybe his commitment. The president actually, in frustration, actually recalled recently that he said that. He said, shoot anybody, any legal person bearing an AK-47 rifle. Now, herdsmen are not, I don't think any government arm is going to give herdsmen a license to carry an AK-47. So this is the problem that we have. This is the impossible situation that they are on. Even people in refugee camps are being bullied, are being slaughtered.
Do you know the issue here? Since we give this order, shoot at sight. Have you seen any one man shot by carrying AK-47? These people are still carrying the AK-47. All I'm trying to say is that we don't have political will to fight this insecurity. I supported this government. I've been bullied. I've been insulted. And I have no regret. Even though we are disappointed about this governance, why we bring this government is because we saw what is happening today, yesterday. They brought a man who will have a political will to say, yes is yes, no is no. Since that order, I've been sitting down to take account. I've not seen one man shot. Why there's still AK-47 flying all over? Where is one man shot by AK-47? Now, if you give AK-47 to Vigilante and the soldiers are giving orders to shoot at sight, Vigilante has no badge, has no uniform, has no color. It means that when soldiers go into a village, and see a vigilante with an AK-47, they shoot him. And the same village or community or government will cry foul.
Yeah.
We are setting ourselves up.
Okay.
Let us build a strong police. The federal might can recruit police. We can recruit soldiers. We can recruit every sort of security men to fortify our security. And the most important thing, let us have security, political will. How many people have shot since we give orders, shoot aside? How many? The other day we have a report of robbery in Aso Rock. Whether it's wrong or right, that's a shame to all of us. Robbery in Aso Rock, I don't supposed to mention.
Attempt. Robbery attempt. That failed.
That's right. Whether it's failed or succeeded, it's nothing short. That someone thinks to rob in Aso Rock.
Yeah.
It's like overtaking. What you're saying that somebody wants to overtake our government.
Okay, Reverend, thank you very much for calling in. As always, Reverend Dominic is passionate about all things Nigeria. And Terence, if we have you now, because your video was freezing, it's still freezing, I'm hearing. So, okay, we're going to revert to the phones then for people to call in, just like Reverend Dominic did. Well, there was a vote of confidence. You saw it in our background report. All the stakeholders there are saying that Governor Autumn is on the right path. We can't just sit down, cross our hands. Good morning, Madam Ada. Madam Ada in Jos, good morning. Well, they did tell me you were on the line, but I think all the telecommunication lines are being one kind, as we say locally, today. But it's something, I imagine Governor Autumn is, he's frustrated because it's about his primary concern, his primary duty to provide through governance, good governance, security for the citizens of Benue State. And he's feeling that when they were about to be overwhelmed, in fact, they are being overwhelmed, call on the federal government, and it is his impression that, in fact, he has blurted out some angry things in the past, as you all know. It's all over the place on social media. He has said that this isn't on. In fact, the federal government, they're not too sure whose side they're on. So all of these things are going on. But as Reverend Dominic was saying, where is this going to end? If you begin to arm, as Reverend Dominic said, if you begin to allow arms within the law for these kind of groups being set up, whether it is Ebubeagu, whether it is Amotekun, whatever it is, Reverend Dominic thinks that this could lead to confusion much further down the line. Good morning, Femi Insulere.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Okay. My own take is that what Autumn did is right, is good. But that is not the best way to go about it. What they should do. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. What they should do is that all the governors all the 6 zones in this country are in support of state police. 2 of them, for political reasons, they may not support it.
Yes.
We have 4 zones in this country that are desperately needing state police. They should come together, call their assembly members, the National Assembly members, let them make a change which can be done within even a month that can value, that is, we can have state police. If we put it on vote, I know quite right that we are going to have 2/3, which is needed in the district to adjust the constitution. Let them go straight for that thing. You know what? President Dominic pointed out something. We have to make it clear, not just putting any big and hurry. Then it will be structured in a way that the state can easily take care of their own area. Let me give an example. I'm going to give an example to you from that studio. All those things that you are using there are done by people who say no to obstacles. We know quite well there are certain obstacles on the way of state police. There is nothing that stops us from overcoming that obstacle. Instead of just resigning ourselves to that obstacle, anybody, any human being that is saying yes to obstacle, it's either it remains in one place or go backward.
Okay.
Any nation that is saying yes, to obstacle. We either remain in one place or go backward. The things, everything that we enjoy in this world are from people that say no to obstacle. If we have obstacle for police, state police, we should be able to promote that obstacle.
Okay, you know, Femi, just before you go, Femi, are you still there?
Okay, I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay. I wonder what you thought about Pastor Paul Adefara saying, you know, actually putting out that everybody should have a plan B, and the plan B is to skip the country.
Those ones are diversions. We should be able to solve our problem. We have an obstacle. How do we promote that obstacle? That is the way forward. All those ones are just shit talk. We should not even give it any audience.
Okay.
We have to solve our own problem. We have to face it. How do we solve this problem? Everybody has been saying this is the obstacle for state police. This is the obstacle for state police. Can't we surmount it? Is it impossible to surmount it? That they will use it for political reasons? They will use it for this, they will use it for this. Is there no way to surmount it?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Femi. Appreciate you. Appreciate your call. And indeed, Reverend Dominic before him, thank you very much for calling in. We'll sort of, you know, unfortunately, our man Terence Kwanum, Global Amnesty Watch researcher in Benue, was with us, but the lines didn't cooperate. Maybe it was because of the video increasing the bandwidth, and that led us to whatever. But we're going to have to leave this for now, just lean it against the wall, so to speak, as we move on to another subject. And, you know, it's the local government issue. We'll take a break and then we'll be right back. Welcome back, and this time we'll be looking at the whole question of ALGON, the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. And our guest this time, you know, Mr. Leonard Ayogo. He'll be joining us via Skype. And in our Abuja studio right now is Mr. Shuaib Majer, Chair of Suleja Local Government Authority. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Now, what is the situation now in terms of, you know, the sort of the challenges that ALGON was facing? Because I saw a report. It's about, you know, maybe about 2 weeks ago now, where it was alleged that actually ALGON was blaming, ALGON was actually blaming politicians, you know, for causing all the crisis and all the problems, and all of this is because they would seek to manipulate local government authorities in their quest for 2013. What's that situation? Has it resolved itself, or, you know, just give us a background, please.
What happened then on issue of ALGON? There were some politicians that are trying to use the then leadership of ALGON, which is an illegal leaders that were occupying the ALGON. But from the court order, the IMC got recently, before the court went on strike, have stated it clearly that the then leader of ALGON, which happened to be from a development area in Lagos, that is Shomolu, he's not a member of ALGON, and there is no way he can lead our association. And that was why we've been having so many challenges. You can't say someone that is not a senator to become a Senate president, or someone that is not a House of Rep member to become a Speaker of the National Assembly, or someone that is not a governor to become the Nigerian Governors Forum leader. So Kolade Alabi David is not chairman in any of the 774 local government in Nigeria. So I don't know how he find his way to become ALGON president some years back, but the court have decided, even though there is still pending matter in the court, we already have an interim injunction that restrained him from parading himself as ALGON leader. And before then, that is when we realize there are some politicians that are trying to support him so that he will stay there to work for them in 2023 general election. But our concern in ALGON is the issues bothering us in the country, security issues, the issues of the autonomy, which is supposed to be our major concern, so that local government will have their full autonomy.
Yes.
So that after then we can be able to tackle so many challenges that is facing us in our various local government in the country.
Well, you are chair of the Suleja local government, but also chair of the interim management committee. Explain to me, please, how that works.
Yeah, I'm the executive chairman of Suleja Local Government Council. This is my second tenure as a chairman. And when we find out there are issues with our association, we have to call the General Assembly members, which are the highest decision body of the association, and dissolve the illegal occupant of that of our association, and set up an interim management committee, that is the IMC, to be headed by me, for us to take the affairs of the association for the next 6 months, so that we can set up electoral committee and also elect new leaders that will take the affairs of the association.
Okay, all offices will be up, including that of chair.
Yes, of course.
Oh, so
any of the ALGON reps in the state that has any interest on any of the seats from the president downward should come forward and contest. If the General Assembly members elected that person, then we'll have a complete NEC members that will take charge of the ALGON.
Okay.
For the next 2 years.
Okay. Let me see if I can make contact with Leonard Ayogo, who is a public affairs analyst in Niger State, and he's on Skype. Leonard, any luck?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah. Okay. You just heard the chairman there. Give me your analysis of how well this is going against the backdrop of the accusation of the local government authority itself that they were being manipulated and that they weren't standing for it. Are we on a better course now? You know all the parameters.
Yes, the local government is a very critical tier of government, and some of us have been advocating that tier of government should have financial autonomy, so they can critically analyze and take care of security issues, and of course aid in proper administration. In fact, to us, if we get the local government administration right, we'll have less of these security challenges, because the local government chairman, as the case may be, knows the interests, knows the environment of his LGA, and so is most informed about security issues. So that's why we have been calling all these years that the local government should be granted the financial autonomy, so that they can act with all sense of financial assessment that is very key to development. You see, the local government administration, as the case may be, is very, very critical. And I want to commend the interim management committee chaired by Mr. Maji, that for once they are coming out to say, look, I think we should have financial autonomy so we can deliver on the dividend of democracy. So basically, I think they are on course, and for the first time we are seeing that impact, that the local government want to have that separate financial entity from the state, and of course, constitutionally it is provided for.
Yes.
The other issue that I heard the interim management committee raise is intriguing. I wonder how someone who is not the chairman of a local government can actually preside over ALGON in the years past. But of course, interestingly, we're a country of abnormalities. But I think that is being corrected now. As it is now, I think we should support local government autonomy. And of course, we are going to get more of this development at the grassroots level, because that's the most important level of governance as far as we are concerned.
Okay. Mr. Maje, how's the whole question of financial autonomy, which is crucial, it's important, especially if you're going to, be able to address properly the security challenges. I'm understanding that Mr. Maje, for some reason, isn't there again. Maybe he'll come on quite shortly. This is one of those kind of days. Okay, so for some reason we've lost signal, with Mr. Maje, but going back to where we have it, at least we have it with Mr. Anyogo. This whole question of security, and of course, we're going to need funds for that. We're going to need financial ability for that. I was going to ask the chairman, I think him being best placed, to tell us how well that was coming along, because it's not satisfactory that they don't have the financial autonomy, I beg your pardon. And I was going to ask him, how is that coming along? Are we getting to a stage where indeed we're nearing that place where they can say they have the financial autonomy, but unfortunately he's not there? Would you like to take a stab at the question?
Yes, of course. Across the country, we are seeing the near absence of local government administration. Some of these chairmen too, they will rely on the fact that the governors are not releasing money to them, and absolutely you see no development. In 1999, when there was local government autonomy, we witnessed a couple of development. So right now, any local government chairman can say, look, I don't have money, and there's nothing we can do about it. Imagine that the people at the locality, which definitely they form the bulk of the population of Nigeria, they may not even have opportunity of seeing Mr. President one-on-one, they may not even have opportunity of seeing the governor, but the local government chairman lives with them, is supposed to be part of them. They are critical stakeholders. They can easily work with the local government chairman. So if we get that tier of government right, just like I said, the local government chairman eventually will know the people that come into the local government in terms of security. And that's why we'll be calling for local vigilante and policing. Because in other climes, you have the local government, county police, or sheriff, as the case may be. Those who know people that come into the local government and people that exist. So if we get that, if we want to get the issue of security right in this country, we must bring our local government to be autonomous, to have some financial ability, to have some capacity. And that's why I said, for you to be elected a local government chairman, the critical stakeholders in your local government must come on board, so that everybody come in and elect someone who has the capacity to galvanize the people, because the local population is key. But we are in a country that basically we look at, if you are not at the federal government, at the federal level or the state level, then of course nothing happens. Of course, remember that the 774 local government as provided in the constitution is very constitutional, and the constitution recognizes the 774 local government. Be that as it may, but we have not seen the implementation or the spirit of the constitution. So the local government has to be promoted deliberately, especially now that we have serious security challenges in the country. So we must go back to the drawing board. If we want to get it right, we must get the local government administration right. And of course, I think the present IMC, led by Mr. Maje, who is also the chairman of SLEJA, is on the right footing, meeting with critical stakeholders, and of course, that is very key. And so I want to, without hesitation, without saying separately, that the local government administration is very key. And the governors should also see the local government chairman as partners in the progress of their respective states.
Okay. Mr. Shaibu, did we get you back, Mr. Shaibu? Well, apparently not yet. But, so what I can do is, quite frankly, to thank you very much, Leonard, for coming on, and also thank the chair for coming on earlier. We had hoped to air this, but we got some insights from both Mr. Maje and Mr. Anyogo on this whole situation. And I think you stated it perfectly, Mr. Anyogo, that at the end of the day, the local councils, local government councils, do need autonomy, and they have to work as partners in progress between them and the governors. I want to thank you very much for coming on the program as well. Okay then, so that's our program. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll be back tomorrow, all things being equal. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.